Greetings. This is 2 Minutes Together with Vicar Ben, as ministry of Central Lutheran Church, Eugene, Oregon. This week, we're in our second Sunday of Lent, and we're going to be considering the first time Jesus predicts to his disciples that he's going to suffer and die. The disciples don't understand very well. And of course, we sort of can understand where they're coming from. The narrative begins when Jesus asks them, "Who do you say that I am?" And then Peter does something very uncharacteristic. He gets the answer right. He says, "You are the Messiah." That was the correct answer. And then Jesus says, "You're absolutely right, and I'm going to tell you something about being Messiah. I'm going to go suffer and die." Now, the disciples are lost. Peter rebukes Jesus and says, "That can't be the case." And Jesus rebukes him back. It says, "Get behind me, Satan, for you don't have your eyes on what God wants, but what you want." And then Jesus goes to the whole crowd and says, "If you want to follow after me, you have to deny yourselves, take up your cross, and follow me." What's going on here? Jesus has presented something shocking. They all expected that the Messiah was going to come and lead a political revolution and drive the foreign oppressors, the Romans, out. Instead, he says, "I'm going to go suffer and die." We may not be in the first century Judea. We may not be expecting a great political Messiah to come lead us, but I hope we could see how shocking this message of the cross is. How shocking it would be for Jesus to say, instead of doing all of that, I'm going to go suffer and die. I think one of the biggest problems we have is we've gotten so used to talking about the cross, we've forgotten how shocking it is. Paul in 1 Corinthians says, it is a scandal, and it's a stumbling block and foolishness. He says, eventually, it just doesn't make sense in the way we like things to make sense. We want to understand, how is Jesus' dying going to come and rectify all the problems of the world? And it absolutely will, but Jesus is doing something bigger than what people can imagine. He's dealing with the spiritual power of sin in the world that has to be conquered in order for any kind of new harmony in creation to be created. Here, in this season of Lent, we contemplate that cross. And I encourage you to take a moment and recognize it's okay if when you see it, you say, "Boy, that's an odd way to have accomplished this." Right? Couldn't there be other ways of solving the issues of the world? Why would you do it like this? There's actually a lot of good reasons for that. And throughout this season of Lent, we'll be thinking about some of those reasons. The way in which this actually was the best way to go about this. That God had had a plan the entire time. But what I want to invite you to do today is to sit for a minute in the awkwardness, in the uncomfortableness of just saying, why does it go that way? And let that be a moment for you to contemplate, to meditate, and to lead into closer devotion before God. This is 2 Minutes Together with Vicar Ben.